Today I'm going to give you a little update on my master bedroom project. It's taken a little bit to get it going, but I want to show you what I've done so far and show you my plans for the summer. Welcome to the Peaceful Home. I'm Teresa. If we haven't met, it's great to have you today. Well, I do a little tour of my bedroom. It's not finished by any means, but I have made a lot of progress, and sometimes just showing you guys what I'm doing gives me a little push to keep going. I'll start here behind me and I'll just work my way around the room. I did a video on bringing this side table in and decorating it, and I really do love it. The painting is just one of my favorite things in this room, and I love the way I could just stack the books and push them under the table on the floor. They're really easy to get to. I've always liked that look of like old English cottages where books are just stacked in corners. I do have so many books, they won't fit on my bookshelf, so this works. This planter is new. I was on a date with my husband and we actually went to this little spot we were told about that has a bunch of different food trucks, and we ate there, and across the street was this little shop, and it had an outdoor garden area and an indoor area. And I saw these from across the lot, and I have been wanting one, but I have never seen one for sale. I really wanted to grow English ivy in her, but every ivy I have in the house dies without fail, and it did this time too. So I got this new vine. It is a variety of grape, which we have wild grape here on the property, and it's horrible because it's invasive and you can't kill it. So I figured that was a good indication that it might stay alive. I kind of feel like I should name her. Any ideas? Comment below if you have an idea for my new planter name. I'll link the video below of putting this table together and the stories behind it. Right behind me is this armoire that I whitewashed, and I have a video for that as well. I will link it for you guys if you missed it, but I cannot believe the difference in this piece. And it went from something I really loved to how can I love it more than really loving it? But I just do. I just think it's so beautiful. And I put some of my vintage suitcases up here. A plant that the kids got to that I'm trying to regrow. This is a spot where I can store my sewing machine, which I took out today for my projects. I'm going to show you those in a minute. As well as my fabric stash. I've got all of my craft stuff in these drawers. So it's really nice to just have all of this in one spot. Continuing on to my full-length mirror, this is usually in the Austin room. 2 years ago, I believe, I did an entire series on decorating a room from start to finish. I think it's 10 videos. I will put that playlist below. If you are trying to figure out where to start in redoing a room, I think it could be really helpful. This mirror was in that room, and actually my great-grandparents brought this over from France. So normally it wouldn't be in here, but for now this is where I'm storing it. I have a couple more vintage suitcases. These are great for storage, and you can pick them up easily at estate sales and thrift stores. I've got craft stuff in one and Legos in the other. Now we'll move on to the seating area, and I got these chairs on Facebook Marketplace. I had to drive about an hour to go pick them up. I had been searching for months, and when I found these, they were just perfect. I love the ottomans. It's such a nice place to sit and read, have my quiet time. My husband sits there every morning to put his shoes on. There's this darling two-tiered table that I got at Junk in Your Trunk, and I just decorated it with a few things that I love, and this lamp that I got at an estate sale. You can see the pillows that came with the chairs, and they're very hard. So they're not comfortable to sit on. I move them off every time, but it's also a chair that kind of needs a little pillow. I found these lumbar pillows at a thrift store with a bright orange sequined cover. I removed those so I could use the insert. I was planning on sewing some pillows for the chairs, maybe with a small ruffle, nothing too crazy or frilly. There's already quite an ornate design on the chairs, But then I realized that I already had these linen covers from IKEA. I've probably had them for 10 years. They're so versatile. And I realized that I could just stitch them up, cut off the excess, and put them on those pillow inserts. And so that was really easy, really fast. I just did that today, and I think it's going to be perfect for the spot. You might recognize this little end table, I'm calling it. It's really just a shelf that I got at a vintage sale, Junk in Your Trunk. And I've got a couple little things on there, some little toys that the grandkids play with when they come into my room. I also got this beautiful tall table at an estate sale. And previously I had this plant on a bench, and it didn't seem quite right in this room, almost just a little too rustic. So this was a great substitution, and I love it here in front of the window. Oh, one thing I failed to mention is that behind the armoire and the mirror is a map of Bakersfield, because my family is from Bakersfield. My grandfather actually worked for the county as a health inspector, and he had this map that was made in 1945. It is definitely a family treasure. I love it so much. I really wasn't sure if I was going to put it over on this wall where I've had mirrors, if I was going to take the mirrors down, put the map there. I think I've decided that I'm going to move it into the other guest room when I redo that. But in the meantime, this is the safest place for it. It's very delicate, and I'm just afraid if I roll it up and put it somewhere that it's going to get damaged. So I realize it's a little weird to have the map hanging there, but it's the best spot for it to be protected. So that means that I'm going to keep the mirror wall, and I'm going to have to replace the mirrors that I removed. I sold some to a client when I did a mirror wall for her. So I've got a couple actually in the works. I'll show you those. This table is done. I got this at my local Goodwill, and this shop is very small, so they do not have furniture. The biggest thing I've ever seen in the last 5 years is a small nightstand. But I walked in one day and saw this and just fell in love. I think it was $30. I mean, a ridiculous price. Perfect for French country. And I probably will restore it at some point. But you know, it had been sitting in my garage for almost a year, because I'm thinking I don't want to bring it in if I haven't redone it. But sometimes you just have to use what you have, even if it's not perfect. So I'm so glad I brought it into this room, and I just did some books and some plants. I love topiaries. I've grown my own in the past. I would love to do more in the future, but for now I have a couple of faux ones. And this little set of books that are just so precious. I love them. I love the look of them and the color. And then I found this bust just at a thrift store. It was $2. And again, that is a very common thing seen in French homes. So it was perfect for decorating here. A couple of candles, and it's a beautiful space that I'm really happy with. In addition to the mirror wall, I have two big projects. Technically three projects that need to happen this summer. So the first one is redoing these nightstands, and I plan on painting those white. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the hardware. If you have ideas, I would love to hear about it. I don't have a lot of gold in here. I have some on the picture frame. That's my husband and me at my daughter Naomi's wedding. But I really don't have much more gold in here. The frame on this picture. So maybe some gold hardware would be nice. I'm not sure. I'm also planning on removing some of the trim and updating the style just a bit. Oh, I do have a little mini project. I don't know if I can even call this a full-blown project. It's more of a small chore. I'm going to use rub and buff on the nail heads to make those a nice bronzy gold. So that might be a nice thing to match with the hardware on the nightstands. Second project is shiplap on my back bedroom wall. So this entire wall behind the bed I want to be shiplapped. I'm trying to decide if I want to go vertical or horizontal. So if you have an opinion on that, I would love to hear. And that will be painted white as well. The entire room is painted gray, and I do like the color, but I like white even better. So I think having one accent wall with the shiplap that's white will just make the rest of the gray kind of pop, and I think it'll be a good combination. And then lastly, we'll be doing the gallery wall up above the bed. And I have been collecting artwork for almost a year, and I've got quite a few pieces. I'm just going to have to decide how I'm going to display that. I'm going to be ordering some prints off of Etsy to go into some of the frames that I've thrifted. So I can kind of picture it in my head, but that will kind of be the cherry on top, and I will be done with this room. If this is your first time here, or you've been around for a while but haven't gotten to subscribing, I would encourage you to do that. It's completely free, and it's your way of telling YouTube what type of content you enjoy. If you hit the little bell icon, then you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. You might wonder why YouTubers are always asking you to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, but it really does make a difference for channel makers, and it shows your support. I appreciate you watching so much. I hope you'll comment below and let me know if you have any tips for me as I finish up this room. Thanks for joining me today on The Peaceful Home. Have a great day.